And it's great to welcome back the Flow. Joining us on the line, we've got Courtney Keil. G'day, Courtney. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for having me back. It's always a pleasure having a chat with you, so it's feeling good to be back in touch.
It's
in
always,
a couple of months.
yeah, it's always good. I mean, I know we love talking about Eurovision, but it's not the wrong time to talk about Eurovision. But I'm still waiting for your Eurovision song. So what's going on? Come on.
I think that's going to be a project for next year. I've missed the entry point for the deadline for Australia decides this year, but I think next year I need to pop it on my to-do list to write a Eurovision song. I think it's time. We need to get a country artist there.
I think so too. I've been saying it for a while now, and I just think, and you understand Eurovision. You've got the passion and the love for it, and you have the parties and that. So yes, someone that knows it would be good to do. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to talking about your Eurovision song and wishing you all the best on your journey to win Eurovision for Australia.
Well, it's on the to-do list. I'll get writing next year and get it together.
So how is your songwriting going at the moment? Are you finding time now that things have sort of loosened up and you can get out there and enjoy brunch and coffee and things? Are you finding time to still do some songwriting?
Oh, absolutely. At the moment, I'm starting to think ahead to next year of hopefully, completing an album. So that's kind of running in the back of my head most of the time when I'm writing and trying to piece it all together, piece songs together, what I want to say on the album, all those questions. So it's great now spending some time to be co-writing with people, trying to brainstorm ideas. So it's definitely something that's very important right now for me. And, the last couple of months I had been writing, then you have a little bit of a quiet bit for a moment and write a little less, but now it's kind of peaking back up into writing time.
Which is more enjoyable, writing with someone or just on your own?
I really love co-writing. I think probably a little bit more than writing on my own, just because it's nice to have people to bounce your ideas off of. Yep. They also then will provide different perspectives that I might not have come up with too. So that's something I've just always really loved. And it's just a nice, time to spend with someone else, whether it's on Zoom or in, face-to-face in person. I just really love it. I think it's a great way to connect, get to, spend some time just talking music, having fun. So that's something I've always loved. I enjoy writing on my own too, don't get me wrong, but I think I like it a little bit more with others.
And when you're writing with those, are there some that you get a genuine friendship and a bond with, so it makes it easier, but others it's harder?
Oh, absolutely. I've got a little bit of a co-writing team now. I've been writing a lot with Gina Jeffries, Rob McCormack, my producer as well. And then we've got two really great friends over in Nashville, Sam Gay and Templeton Thompson, who we've kind of created this little songwriting group, which has been really awesome, that sometimes a couple of us might write, sometimes all of us might. Just depends on the day, who's busy, who's doing what, So it's been really nice to, connect with people on that friendship level as well. And you just feel so much more relaxed and at home. You feel comfortable to share your ideas and know it's a safe place to do that as well. And, and just have a lot of fun. There's always a lot of talking and laughing mixed in with the writing.
Well, Gina and Rod, they've been, and I mean this in a nice way, they've been around for a while, but what have you learned from these stalwarts of the industry? Because they probably have forgotten more than they can pass on, but what have you learned from just being around them, especially regarding songwriting?
Well, it's awesome writing with both of them, because they both take completely different approaches. Gina's a real fast writer. She just gets 100 ideas at once. It's amazing watching her just be typing crazy, or you'll have a break and come back and she'll go, oh, I've rewritten the whole song. She's just incredible. So watching her write, but then Rod is so, thought-provoking. He's a real deep thinker, and just watching how he writes is incredible as well. And because he's such a phenomenal guitarist too, he comes up with these unique melodies that I would have never thought of, because he sits there and plays this little lick on the guitar and goes, oh, what about this? So it's all very, very interesting, and watching how different people have different approaches, and they're both just such awesome people to, write with anyway, that it's just been such a pleasure getting to both of them. That's just all been really incredible, and I can't thank them enough for all that they've been doing for me, helping me, supporting me, and guiding me through this journey.
You've got two people there that, yes, if they're guiding you, that you're doing all right, and I'd be taking their advice as gospel, basically, because I think they're amazing, absolutely amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
So just from my own curiosity here, you've written a song with them, and then you go in to record it. Is it already in your mind how it's going to sound from the way you've been sort of shopping and doing all that workshopping rather with them? But then when you get into the studio, it changes a bit of a direction. I mean, what's that process? How does that work?
Well, it's great when I write a song with them, because then when Rod's producing it as well, we've kind of already, while writing it, have a bit of a rough idea of what direction we want it to head down. We quite often will listen to lots of other songs that are current or, inspirations for us to go, okay, well, we might want a tempo like that song, or, oh, that guitar part sounds really good, so maybe we want to use that similar sound, So we do try to, I guess, do a lot of listening to other stuff to get us on the right track. But, Rod's just so incredible in the studio. Once he gets going, it's just amazing what he comes up with. So I quite often just, I'll have some little ideas here and there, but most of the time I'm just like, you run with it, Rod, because you're going to make it sound awesome. Let the professional do it. I'm no producer, So it's sometimes I might go, oh, a bit of banjo might be cool, and he'd be like, yep, I was already on that pathway. So it's just great working with him. He's an awesome person to be producing my music, and just so talented.
That is indeed. Now, I understand you've also been performing as June Carter Cash alongside Daniel Thompson. How's that been going, or how did that come about as well?
Yeah, that was a really interesting opportunity that kind of came out of nowhere. Earlier this year, I had a call from Dan, and he said he got my phone number from Duncan Toombs, who he's been producing all my music videos, and he just said, look, I do the Johnny Cash concert show. We've got a show at Crown in Melbourne in 2 weeks' time. We need a June Carter. Are you free? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Send me the songs, and it was pretty awesome getting to learn those quite a short timeline, which, I got into gear pretty fast, but it was such a fantastic show to be involved with. They're just a great group of musos, and getting to sing such iconic songs, they're big shoes to fill, but it's really just incredible, because the people that come to the shows, they love the music already. So it's just they're celebrating Johnny and June, So we got to do a couple of shows. We did Port Macquarie and Tamworth as well, with a bunch more booked, which we unfortunately had to postpone because of the lockdown. But I'm hopeful that next year we'll be able to get back out on the road and finish those shows out.
It'd be great to see as well. And performing the songs and as June Carter, what have you learned from that to help you with your own performance and songwriting?
Well, it's just been awesome looking back at all the different songs, that whether June wrote them with Johnny or whether someone else wrote them. There's just such, incredible lyrics in there. Really, some of them are quite simple songs, but some of them are really intricate stories, and it just is really great to see those as examples. Also musically, stylistically, just some of the incredible little melodies that they put in there. So I think it can take a lot away from it, and it just builds that, I guess, country music knowledge and foundation for me to, when I'm writing, okay, let's maybe use some more traditional sounds there, or use some classic, writing styles as well. So you just learn so much from them. They're masters of their work.
Yes, they certainly were, and they left us with an incredible legacy as well. And if that's influencing like yourself and others, I think it's a fantastic thing, and more of it too. Now on to you and your music, which we're playing here on Flow. We're loving your songs. Where Does All the Love Go? Hummingbird, I Just Want to Hold You. We've been playing them all year, and you've got a new one out now called Little Heartbreak. And I just want to know why is there no video? Because I expect videos with you, and I've got nothing to sort of refer to. What's going on?
I know. I had a little heartbreak that I couldn't do a video for this one. I got to tell you, because of the lockdown, it just made it impossible. And we opened back up a week before the song came out, and there was just no physical way to get it done that quickly, unfortunately. And it devastates me a little bit, because I had it all planned out in my head of how I really wanted it to look, but it was just timing, one of the unfortunate casualties of COVID and lockdown here in Melbourne. But, already thinking ahead to whether, I could do a little live video somewhere along the way, or, who knows. I'd love to still do something for it, because it's one of those little boxes left unchecked.
Yes, can I understand that? I love the 90s vibe to it, and it took me back a bit, and to me it was one of those songs that if I didn't know it was from you and knowing the background with it, that if I just heard it on the radio anywhere, I'd be thinking, oh, someone's covering an old Dixie Chicks song or something from that era, and that's how it sort of came out. But when I knew it was you, I'm thinking, wow, you've just captured that moment and given it a little fresh uptake that we need with a great little song.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad you picked up on that because very much we set out to make it have some of those kind of late 90s country sound to it. You know, I listened to a lot of Leanne Womack, so she was a bit of a reference artist for this song, along with the Dixie Chicks, people like that, you know, they just have these classic country sounds, but it's still really fresh at the same time. So I just wanted to, you know, give it a bit of a throwback that people, if they love their country music, will feel that, you know, classic sound in there, but while keeping it very contemporary, fresh, that it still fits in with the radio, you know, today.
Yeah. It's also one of those sort of sounds that it's, as they say, crossover. It could cross over into the pop sphere. You could turn it into a pop song with the odd tweak and change here and there. Is that something that's in the back of your mind that you might like to do one day?
I think it's always good to keep that open and in the back of your mind because music's constantly changing. I still, you know, I really love country, but I do love the pop world too. So I think as well, even when performing live, it means you can adapt the song depending on where you're performing to what the audience might, you know, respond better to. So it's always good to be flexible with it, and just music's so great to be able to experiment and try new things. That's what, you know, a couple of months ago I released a pop version of my debut single, I Just Want to Hold You, a remix, just for fun, just for the experience of doing something different. And it's just fun to try new things and constantly be ever-changing and just trying to bring things out that are exciting for the listeners as well.
Yeah, why not indeed? And it's always good to mix it up, especially if you're going to do it live. You want to keep it interesting for yourself sometimes as well, even though the fans might, well, no, we want it that way, but you can do that. You'll know that as you're doing it. So it's good to be able to mix it up.
I'm just looking forward to finally getting to perform this song live. It will be great.
So you've got some shows coming up at Tamworth, I understand?
Yes, absolutely. The first one that I've got booked in at the moment is opening for a good friend of mine, Angus Gill. He's got a bluegrass album that he's brought out recently, which is incredible. So I'll be opening his show. And then the following day, you know, the big ticket item that I'm super pumped about is performing with Gina Jeffries and Tanya Kernigan, launching the Girls' Night Out tour, which we're going to be doing next year with Max Jackson as well. So we've got a big show planned, a big, fun, I guess, collaborative night where we just want people to come along, leave the room smiling and, you know, have an absolute ball and then take it on the road as the year kicks into gear next year.
Yes, well, that's what everyone wants, and we want to see that and that. So it sounds like you've got some great shows there, and with Gina and Tanya, oh boy, that'll be a fun night.
Absolutely. I can't wait. We've, you know, been having a few meetings about it and working out what songs, how's it all going to work, you know, just because we want to make it really exciting for everyone. And as Gina puts it, she just doesn't want anyone to cry. She wants it to be all good, you know, all fun, because we've all had, you know, a rough couple of years. We've had enough sadness. We just want to have a ball, you know, everyone to just have lots of fun.
So what song in your mind have you sort of starting to think about the three of you singing together?
Well, obviously we've got to have Girls' Night Out in there of Gina's because, you know, that's just one of the classics. We kind of have named the tour after as well, so it's going to be pretty fun to bring that one out. And we've got to keep it a little bit of a surprise at the moment, but there's going to be lots of collaborative songs on there as well, a few solo songs, so it's going to be a really great mixture of music, because they're also going to be launching a new album as well, which is really exciting.
I like the way you have the nice political answer there. It's just...
Got to keep some things up my sleeve.
I thought I might go there. I thought you might. But anyway, enough about that. We've got your new song. We're loving it. It's great. Now, you said there is an album that you could be working on next year. That's good. If that's the case, any idea when that might come out, Courtney?
Potentially looking at maybe around March sometime.
Okay.
I want to coincide with when we're touring so I can be, you know, bringing it out on the road with me. So I'm hopeful it's in kind of the first quarter of next year. Just
remember, keep May free because that's Eurovision. So just be careful.
Of course. Yeah. Can't have any clashes there.
Absolutely. All right. It's fantastic. We're loving your music here on Flow, as we always do. Thank you so much for spending some time with us again. And we've got the song here ready to go, Courtney. It's all set for our listeners. They're going to love it. If you could please introduce it for us. And thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate all the support. And I'm Courtney Keil, and you are about to listen to my brand new single, Little Heartbreak, right here on Flow FM.
Love seems to treat me so unfairly. Destination temporary. Why do I jump in boots and all? Set myself up for another fall. Paper cuts on deep. They still sting and bleed. This might take a day, 2 or 3 to shake. I might need some breathing room and breathing space. You can never underestimate all the pain and the heartache. There goes another big mistake. Here comes another little heartbreak. They always have so much potential. On paper, got some fine credentials. Seems like there's something there, but they end. Well, you know how the story ends. I know paper cuts on deep. They still sting and bleed. This might take a day, 2 or 3 to shake. I might need some breathing room and breathing space. You can never underestimate all the pain and the heartache. There goes another big mistake. Here comes another little heartbreak. This really isn't good for all my insecurities. Can't take another, take another. It's not you, it's me. This might take a day, 2 or 3 to shake. I might need some breathing room and breathing space. You can never underestimate all the pain and the heartache. There goes another big mistake. This might take a day, 2 or 3 to shake. I might need some breathing room and breathing space. You can never underestimate all the pain and the heartache. There goes another big mistake. Here comes another little heartbreak.